Hey, Stan, what was it like watching the Heat make that run to the finals last year and their success in the bubble?
I mean, they played very, very well. So I think it was a testament to the fact that games are played on the court, not in the media, and not what we all predicted. The games are court. They hit a good run. They played extremely hard. They played extremely well together. Um, Eric's teams always play with great, great confidence. Yeah, it was a great run for them.
Hey, this is Jim from Pelicans.com. I was wondering, obviously, every team in the league is going through this the first time as far as traveling with the pandemic going on. Are there any adjustments that you have to make as far as the plans? You try to arrive in the city later than you normally would? Are there any things that you do differently compared to the last time that you were head coach?
I mean, Jim, everything's different, especially in terms of game day, with having to do the testing in the morning and waiting for results before we can get everybody together and wanting to give guys a decent night's sleep. I mean, we're not getting together until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and we're doing it in the hotel at that time. So, not the routine I would like, particularly in an exhibition game. But listen, I mean, I've talked about it since I got the job. And, we know this stuff is coming. Everything's different. And you've got to adjust to what it is. Like, you can't, it does you no good complaining. It does you no good making excuses. This is the way it is. You find out what the rules are. You make the best decisions you can, and you move forward.
Christian mentioned the Heat, obviously the success that they have. I know going into preseason games, we hardly ever focus on the opponent because everyone is more worried about themselves. But does it help at all to play against a team that has some cohesiveness and just is at that level? Does it help to play against a team like that in preseason as you get ready for the regular season?
Well, I mean, any game would help us at this point, but I think if you look at our early schedule, I think that it's, you're going to play against good people who play very hard and very together, not just the preseason. So we go Miami, who went to the finals. We go Milwaukee, who had the league's best record. That's our preseason. Then we open at Toronto, who was a champion 2 years ago, second round of the playoffs. Then we're back to Miami again, an NBA Finals team. Then San Antonio, and then the team that finished the regular season last year better than anybody, Phoenix. So, you're going to be playing against very high-level opponents, Jim, early on. I personally like that because it starts to bring you to the level you need to get to very quickly, and it exposes what you need to work on, which I think is helpful for players, and it's certainly helpful for a coach to say, wow, we've got to do something differently here or whatever. And playing against really good teams helps with that.
Hey, Coach, it's Andrew from ESPN. Do you guys have an idea of how long you'd like to play starters? I know some teams have kind of been playing the first half as if it was a regular game and then doing something different in the second half. Do you guys have an idea of what you'd like to do, and do you have an idea of who your starters are going to be?
I mean, I have an idea on both those things, but I don't know if it's firmed up. We'll play guys pretty good minutes. I'd be surprised if I went beyond 10 guys in the game. And the starters, I would think, will be, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe more, maybe less. I haven't totally mapped it out, but we're going to play them. I mean, we need the time together on the court, and we need the conditioning.
Hi, Coach. This is Ali Cosell with the Bird Rights. To piggyback a little bit off Andrew's question, just because you have 2 practice games on a schedule, is that the reason why you're going to basically play your starters maybe around 30 minutes? Do you need to basically place a greater focus on simulating, basically approaching this tomorrow as a regular season game?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we'll play it as a regular season game in that we're not going to. We will prepare for the Heat in terms of some of the things they run that we haven't really talked about yet, actions. We want to be prepared for how we're going to play them. That's more developing our team for the season. But we're not going to game plan. We're not going to try to, when they downsize and they have, say, Myers Leonard and Kelly Olynyk out there together, 2 shooters, We're not going to down. So we're going to play the rotation that I set out. We're not going to do anything other than our base defense tomorrow. We're not going to make any adjustments to that. So it's definitely not going to be like a regular season game. But the minutes, while they may not be quite like the regular season, they also won't be, it's not going to be the starters playing the first half and sitting down second half either. I mean, and a lot of it is just we need as much time playing together as we can get. We're in a whole different situation than some of these teams. The Heat just played together 2 months ago, and they've got everybody back, and they're in the same system they were in a year ago. We're in a whole new system. We need every day we can get, every rep we can get, every minute we can get with our guys, and we certainly need the conditioning. So we're going to play guys, yeah.
Hey, Christian Clark here again. A week now on the court with the team. I know you're not here to make any excuses, but is this the least amount of time you've ever had with the team before playing in a game?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, sometimes you don't get much more than that. So I'm not worried about that. Like, again, I'm making every effort to stick to exactly what I said. I mean, I don't have control over the situation and when we play and how many days we get and everything else. My job's to get our team as ready to play as possible by December the 23rd in the time and the format that they've given us. That's my job, and that's all I'm focused on. So would I have liked to have had 10 days, 11 days, to instead of 7 to get ready? Sure. But, that's not the way it is. So, no big deal.
What's up, Coach? This is Will Guillory from The Athletic. I know we've talked a lot about who's in and who's out at practice. Do you know going into tomorrow's game if there will be anybody that's not going to play for sure? And just from watching these first few days of preseason games, has there been anything you've taken away as far as how you need to coach or how you need to approach some of these empty arena or semi-empty arena, type of situations?
Yeah, those are great questions. We do know we have a pretty good idea on who will be available and not available, but I'll just leave that to the formal injury report, the in and out report. Some guys we don't know. As far as the empty arenas and stuff, I don't know how to prepare for that. I mean, all we can prepare for is the 94 feet, 94 by 50 that we have some control over. The rest of it'll take getting used to for all of us. That's just the way it is. So we've talked about it, but what we've really talked about is, I say it to you guys almost every day, anytime, any place, under any conditions. So the conditions are different this year. Play, let's go. Like, I'm not looking for excuses for myself. I'm not looking for excuses for our team, and they're not looking for excuses. Like, if you want excuses, you can find them everywhere this year. Everywhere. There's all kinds of excuses, but who cares?
Coach, this is Fletcher with NBC New Orleans. I have maybe one question on following up on a personal issue with that. How have you been coaching in the mask, given that coaches have to wear masks on the sidelines? Is it an easy adjustment for you? Has it been hard? How do you think you'll coach during the game with the mask on, since this is the first time and maybe hopefully this ends soon, the last time you will ever have to do it?
Yeah, I think it's really, really hard. And again, I think I might have mentioned it a little bit yesterday. I think a lot of times your communications with your players, especially on dead balls, you're not yelling out a play call. You're basically whispering a play call. What they're getting is they're reading your lips and the visual you give. There's no reading of lips now. So, we've got to find good ways to communicate, and we've got to make sure we're on board, especially with point guards on visuals and stuff, because it's just not going to be that easy.
All right. Thank you, Coach, for your time.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll have Josh Harden shortly.